I wanted to talk about the wide receivers in this draft. And the reason why I wanted to talk about that, the wide receivers of the draft, because it directly connects to what I was just saying on our last discussion post, which is the NFL media that is in lockstep with all of the networks because the NFL pays all the bills for all of these people. You are incentivized to lift up certain players, hype up certain players, because you need to sell these certain players, right? You need to sell the idea that these guys are superstars when in reality they are not. And nothing is more indicative of that than this wide receiver class. And that's not to say that any of these guys can't be a superstar. We see it every year. Every draft has somebody that just comes out of nowhere, right? Like if you really want to do it, like we've done it plenty of times where we talked about the draft and who was actually the best wide receiver in that draft. Rarely is it the first wide receiver taken. Rarely is it the second wide receiver taken. Usually some dude in the second round, right? Like AJ Brown. AJ Brown, Hollywood Brown got drafted before AJ Brown. That sounds ridiculous, right? It happened.
Right.
It happened, right? So Justin Jefferson was the fifth wide receiver taken in his draft. Fifth. He got drafted after Jalen Rager. That sounds crazy, right? It happens. But with this draft, I've never seen them lie this bad, Rod. I've never seen them lie this bad about these wide receivers, dog. Like and I'm talking about three people in general. So there's gonna be some guys I don't want to go all over the place, right? I'm talking about three people in general: Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson, and Mekhi Lennon. I have Jordan Tyson here, I have Cardinal Tate here, and I have Mekhi Lennon down here. And I'm not saying that none of these guys could not be great. It's not about where you get drafted. Puka Nacua was a fifth round pick, guys. Anybody could be great. Anybody could be great. Anybody could outperform their draft position. However, what I'm saying is that outside of Jordan Tyson, in my opinion, these guys should not be first round picks. And they're talking about these guys going in the top 15 and Cardinal Tate and Mekhi Lennon. What are y'all talking? Stop lying to me, dog. Stop lying to me, dog.
Stop lying to me.
Please, I'm begging y'all to stop lying to me, bro, because and I'm going to go ahead and address each person one by one, right? So I'm going to start with Cardinal Tate. Cardinal Tate right now is the consensus the number one wide receiver on the draft board. The guy that's projected to go first out of the big three, per se, and projected to be a top 10 pick. The first time I heard, because I've been listening to a lot of draft prospects, draft content, draft podcasts, all that, right? You know what they say about Cardinal Tate? The consensus, what they are saying, the people who are telling you he's a top 10 pick, that he's going to be a good number 2 wide receiver. Get the F out of here. We drafted number 2 wide receivers in the top 10? Since when?
Since when?
Since
Wait,
when?
how does that even make sense, bro? How does that even make sense, bro? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Since when are we drafting number 2 wide receivers in the top 10? And again, you could be a dominant number 2 wide receiver. We see that with T. Higgins. We see that with Devontae Smith at times, right? But Devontae Smith didn't start really becoming a true threat until A.J. Brown was there to take away the coverage. So it's Devontae Smith's job is way easier. Before A.J. Brown, it's been so long. I think he only was by himself for 1 year, so you don't remember it. But Devontae Smith wasn't dominant until A.J. Brown got there to take away coverage and make his life easier. Right. I'm drafting Cardinal Tate to be a number 2 wide receiver? Huh? And if you watch Cardinal Tate, he looks like a number 2 wide receiver. Again, he could be great. He does everything well. He's very smooth. He's very slick. He has an incredible catch radius. He has an incredible ability to catch in traffic. I think he has one of the highest catch in traffic grades that PFF has ever graded.
He's a contested catch master.
He's a contested catch master, just like Devontae Smith. Yeah. This is no shade to him, but he doesn't leap off the screen at all, right? You got to think about this. He plays with Jeremiah Smith, who is the next quote-unquote generation of talent at wide receiver. They're
Right.
focused on Jeremiah Smith. He's benefiting. And again, that's how Ohio State is. So if he didn't play for Ohio State, I would be way more down on him, but I've seen JSN come from that school and not be the number one receiver and be a dominant football player. I've seen Chris Olave come from that school, not be a
Right.
number one wide receiver at Ohio State and be dominant. So he could be next in line, but it's just I don't ever want to hear, yeah, he could be a great number two receiver. That's where I projected him, and you're dropping him in the top 10. That's crazy. Next, I want to talk about Mekhi Lemon. Mekhi Lemon has no business being a first round pick. What are we doing with
I'll
him?
be honest, Herbie. I would if I'm ranking him, I'll take Boston over him. Denzel.
Yeah, I'll take
Denzel
Denzel
Boston.
Boston up over too. And
Yeah,
and
I'll take
again,
him over him.
if you're telling me that you know he could only be a slot receiver, and based off of his size and based off of the lack of actual speed, he can only be a slot receiver. He's 5'11", 190. And and I'm not gonna lie, bro. That 5'11", it's a Kyler Murray 5'10",
It's
because he looks
generous, bro.
5'8".
He's like 5'9". He's like 5'9" for real though, bro. He ain't no fucking 5'11". Herbie,
It's
I'm
a
5'11". I can
yes,
tell.
you're 5'11". I've
Yeah.
stood next to you. I'm 5'7". I'm 5'7", and I'm 5'8" on a good day. I'm 5'7" and 3/4. So if you want to give me 5'8", I'm taking it. On my Tinder, I'm 5'8". He's a Tinder 5'8". He's a Black Planet. If you know Black Planet, just some old school shit. He's a Black Planet 5'11". He's a
Craigslist casual encounters, baby.
he's a hinge 5'11". He's a hinge 5'11". He's a dating profile 5'11", because he looks 5'7" on film. He looks so small. And again, I'm waiting for the combine. We're gonna get his official measurements because, like Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is legitimately 5'10". It's the shortest 5'10" in the history of ever, but he's legitimately 5'10". He just looks like he's 5'7". It's the
Right.
craziest thing in the world. That might be the same thing with Mekhi Lemon. I could be wrong. I'll wait for the combine. But he looks smaller than his actual measurements as far as his height. He does not have long arms. So I have a not long armed, potentially shorter than 5'11" guy that could only play in the slot because he's projected to run a 4.5. Why is he going to go into the top 15? And again, as a football player, there's a lot to like about Mekhi Lemon. He's awesome. He's a
No, for
dog.
sure. Yeah.
He's a dog. This is not about him, his football character, nothing. Again, Mekhi Lemon could go out and be a great football player. He could be Steve Smith. I'm just saying we don't normally draft somebody like him in the first round, let alone in the top 15. This is more a reflection of how bad this draft is. Because if I put Mekhi Lemon in any great wide receiver draft, he's in the third round.
True Blazer. That boy said not Black Planet.
Hey man, true Black Planet. Hey boy, I had some Queen.
Yeah, that's
Oh, and I
throwback,
I was
boy.
I was old school Black Planet where you had to make your own page when we were still coding for ourselves. They had to had
Back
to
in
work that
MySpace era, bro.
HTML. You feel me? My Black Planet was going crazy. True, my Black Planet was a woo. Oh, don't let me get on the hotline. Don't let me take it back to the hotline days now. Okay,
What?
okay, okay. All
Yahoo
right.
chat days. Hey, you bringing me back too much.
Nah, facts. And this leads me to my last person. Oh, Magente, bruh. You a freak. True, you was a freaky
Dude.
frog in your prime. You was a
Freaky
freaky frog.
frog,
You was
man.
a freaky frog in your prime. You was a freaky frog. Hey, man, round of applause for Magente. True Blazer, man.
Oh,
All right, and that brings me to the last person I want to talk about, and that's Jordan Tyson. And Jordan Tyson, I'm gonna just say this. Maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm blind. I don't know what these other guys are seeing, but when I see Jordan Tyson, I actually see a star. To me, he's the only guy that should go in the first round.
shit.
When this is gonna, and again, I'm not saying he's as good as this person, but first thing I saw when I watched Jordan Tyson, and I'll say this: I watched all of these dudes. I watched cut-ups, I watched draft profiles, and I watched everything with the sound off. I didn't let anybody color my opinion. I just watched the film, right? And I didn't hear anything. I didn't want to hear nothing. I just wanted to make my own opinion, and I didn't want no outside noise saying, "Oh, blah blah blah." That was irrelevant. When I watched him with the sound off, based off of the scouting profiles I seen, I said, "This is OBJ. This is Odell Beckham Jr."
Mm-hmm.
the fluidity, the speed, the suddenness, the ability to catch everything. Just that natural football athletic ability to where you just always have balance, right? Like there you ever just see guys who are just so good at football where they just naturally know how to control their body and
Yep.
do and stay in bounds or get
Just
their feet
natural
down.
contortionist, bro. Like,
Just a
yeah.
natural contortionist. And it's just like, and he's a great route runner. So I'm just
Yep.
like, what? I get it. If it's about the injuries and you want to have somebody ahead of him because of the injuries, cool. But if we're just talking about in a vacuum, what are we talking about? And I know you liked him, Jordan, Rod. I know you like Jordan Tyson because we were going to talk about him on last week's episode. So go ahead and just talk about Jordan Tyson real quick.
No, I mean you pretty much kind of spilled the beans on the things I liked about him, right? Like he when you talk about the explosiveness that he has, the route running, his ability to catch, and when you consider the fact that when he was coming into college, Herbie, he wasn't even a highly touted recruit, right? Like this is a guy who has built himself up in college and really kind of unleashed his own potential. So when I was looking at film of him, looking at potential first round guys, considering his injury history, I figured now that we lost Tyreek, there is a chance he could fall to us. And I don't know exactly what Eric Sullivan. There's been talk about John Eric Sullivan maybe trading down to try to acquire some more picks. So we'll see what happens with that. But if Jordan Tyson is available on the board, I mean, we drafted. I'm not upset. I'm not upset, even though the Dolphins do have a history of drafting or signing guys with injury histories. I think he's a guy that I would be okay with signing, especially knowing he'll be healthy coming into the season.
Right. So the one thing, so when we were doing this, I was like, I wanted to ask you this specifically because I know you liked him, and I wanted to get your opinion. Do you think it would be some redundancy with him and Jalen Waddle?
That's the only negative to it, Herbie. When I think about a receiver to pair with Waddle, him and Waddle are pretty he's pretty much the same type of receiver we've been drafting.
Yeah.
Right? A guy who doesn't have a lot of size, not the biggest of frame, and a guy who is really quick. He's speedy, he's quick, he's sudden. But that would be the only pushback, Herbie, right? Is that we would have the same situation we had when we had Tyreek and Waddle together. Two speedy guys and no I think that's why if we end up drafting a guy, Herbie, I would prefer someone who has more size, more of a possession type of receiver. Someone who can go up and win, kind of like Carnell Tate, to be honest. But I don't think, given all the hype that Carnell Tate has, I don't think he's falling out of the top 10. I don't even
Yeah.
think he's a top 10 receiver. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't even
I
think he's
don't
a top
either.
10 pick. I mean, but with all the hype, I don't think he's falling out of the top 10. But he would fit what the Dolphins need, in my opinion, more than Jordan Tyson. But when I was ranking my wide receivers, my top three were Tyson, Tate, and Boston. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And before we go through, I want to go ahead and just basically get an idea of what the drafts are. So this is from ESPN. This is just the top five from everybody that they have on ESPN, bro. So I got it right here. And we'll go through. This is all the wide receivers. This is Mel Kiper. He has Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson, Makai Lemon, Boston, Malachi Fields. This is Mike Miller. He has Makai Lemon. All right, man. All
what?
right.
He
All
has a
right, dog.
first.
All right, dog. Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Minch, Jordan Tyson, Carnell Tate, David Boston, Makai Lemon, Eric Reed, Carnell Tate, Makai Lennon, Jordan Tyson, and Phil Yates, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Makai Lennon. So that's basically where it is. It's a bunch of people. It's the top three. That's been the consensus, and the likelihood is somebody not named one of these three guys is actually going to be the best wide receiver in the class, and that's the
That's
most
the funny
annoying
part.
part of
That's
this.
the funny part.
That's
Yeah.
the funny part, man.
It will
So
fuck around being Casey Concepcion.
right, right, right.